One of the things I most appreciate in the sequel trilogy is that unlike in the prequel or original trilogy, you don't have masters taking on masters in the long term like you did in the prequels, or masters schooling apprentices in the original trilogy. Those were the main battles there. Unlike instead in the sequel trilogy, where you have the two main Force-sensitive characters, Rey and Kylo Ren, who are both still technically apprentices. And yet, both are now in the world where they're the two strongest known individuals with the Force in the galaxy. Something never yet done before. Which, if you think about it, it's kind of fascinating. Granted, you get a moment when each of them is tested against a master of the opposing Force side, and they're completely outmatched. But that isn't their fight to win, which otherwise would have been in the prequel or original trilogy. Their fight is against each other. Rey against Kylo Ren, good versus evil, which is what The Last Jedi ultimately led up to, and essentially what Episode 9 will be about. It's kind of entrancing in a way, as we've never had a saga before where the main hero and villain are essentially novices and neither are fully trained. And this is what I feel a lot of people often forget, especially those asking questions like, "Hey guys, who would win in a fight? Kylo or Palpatine?" Seriously, why are questions like this even posed at all? But sure, both had their training started, but either didn't complete it or barely even begun it. For instance, Kylo Ren, Ben Solo, was still a Jedi Padawan when he turned on Luke and left to go with Old Man Snoke. With Snoke, he was still learning how to control and make use of the dark side. But before Snoke can go deeper in his training, Kylo first needed to fully embrace the dark side, which he thought killing his father Han Solo would do just that. Then after getting his butt kicked by essentially a desert bum wielding a lightsaber for the first time, it had Snoke admitting that Kylo still had a lot to learn before completing his training under him. However, that of course never happens, because as soon as Kylo is brought before Snoke, he gets scolded, has his feelings hurt, and the next time Kylo sees Snoke, it's when he kills him, effectively ending any chance he had to complete his training under Snoke. While Rey, I don't want to get into the whole Mary Sue debate here, but unlike any other known Force-sensitive in existence, Rey caught on to using her Force powers almost instantly without any training at all, something that not even the Chosen One Anakin Skywalker was capable of doing. When she did eventually get to Luke Skywalker and asked to be trained by him, she received only a total of 3 lessons. And let's be honest, none of this was Jedi training, just being essentially told that she's strong in the Force, a history lesson of how much the Jedi were screw-ups, and then being lied to go out for a run to crash a mating party. What Rey had was more of an education in the way of the Jedi, rather than any actual intense physical training that other Jedi had to go through. And even then, Rey only spent a few days on Act 2 being educated by Luke, and training by herself for a majority of the time anyway, something she could have done by herself anywhere else. And when she did leave Act 2 and Luke, she wasn't that much stronger than when she initially had arrived. We afterwards see both apprentices take on the masters of the opposing Force sides. Kylo Ren is outmatched by Luke Skywalker, being far too slow to get the upper hand on him, while Rey being likewise outmatched by the more powerful dark side user Snoke, and only surviving due to Kylo betraying Snoke. Then during the Praetorian Guard fight, we can further see that these two are merely still apprentices, struggling to defeat Snoke's guards. Sure, of course, they were elite guards, I know, but to a fully trained Jedi, Sith, or another Darksider, they wouldn't stand much of a chance. And even in the fight, Rey held her ground better than Kylo did, even having to save Kylo's life in the process. Now for Episode 9, we still don't know if there's going to be a time skip or not. If there is, then based on everything we've seen so far, it's likely Rey will train herself more efficiently and be stronger than Kylo, someone who, unlike Rey, is older, has had 2 teachers, and basically more time spent under them, but yet was still bested by her each time. On the other hand, if we have no time skip for Episode 9, then we'll just continue the saga of the apprentices, both still constantly learning from their mistakes, improving, and yet at the same time, each suffering the same major weakness: inexperience. This is N7 from Silo, signing off.